I'm an actor. I was born in Australia. My mum is a refugee to Australia, and when she was a little girl, she had to flee her home country, and she was very, very poor, and she went to 15 different high schools, 15 different schools before she turned 14. So she had a really, really tough life growing up. And then unfortunately, my dad decided to leave me and my mum when I was 2 years old. And essentially, what that meant was a tougher life. A more difficult, challenging life in the sense that we didn't have a lot of money, and we lived in a really, really poor area in Australia. And when I was 12 years old, I had to start working. And I actually started working in a video store, strangely enough. When I was 12 years old, I started working. I used to go after school every single day to this video store. And what I would do is clean shelves. And I would just clean shelves. And this camera guy's like, stop moving! Stay still. And I used to clean shelves. And it would take me a month to get through the entire store. And when I finished, I had to start all over again. And I would just constantly clean dust. But what it allowed me to do is watch movies. And when I was a kid, I would just watch movies as I'm cleaning. And I get to pick the movie, normally, depending on what manager was working. And that was a really cool thing. And strangely enough, that probably pushed me in a direction where I'm here today. Now, if you look at my life on paper, you guys would probably be like, wow, Nathaniel is so successful. He's working on my favourite TV show. He's somewhat of an attractive guy. Somewhat. You know, he probably has lots of money. I see his Instagram, he travels the world. What an amazing life. But you know what the funny thing is? There's somebody in this world who would consider me a failure. Whether I'm not rich enough, not good looking enough, not successful enough in my acting career, not good enough as an actor. There's someone out there in this world that would believe that. And that's why I stopped listening to the world. And I find it really, really interesting, and I want to just get a show of hands. How many people have had a great weekend so far? Put your hands up. Awesome. How many people have had something bad happen this week? Show of hands. Something bad. Not the best. Keep your hand up. This month? This year? The last 5 years, something bad happened and really hurt? Your lifetime? Has anyone still got their hand down? I'd love to meet you. The point I'm trying to make is that every single one of this person, every single person in this room, we all have something in common. We all face troubles, problems, struggles. Would you agree? Yeah. Right? It's part of life. What I found really, really interesting is this idea of depression. I'll be honest with you, I've suffered from depression at different stages of my life. And I'll be really honest, my mum has suffered with depression her entire life. And I absolutely get why. Because she's had to really, really struggle. And she's had a tough life. So I've seen what it does firsthand. Now, would anyone be honest and say, yeah, I suffer from depression in this room on some level? Yeah? And that's what I kind of want to talk about today in some shape or form. And I hope you guys don't mind. If you're really bored by this and you just want to ask questions what my favourite colour is, we can totally do that. But I want to talk about this idea because I think it's really, really important. And what I want to do is give you my outtake on what I've seen from my own life. And a lot of people always say, why are you so positive? And why are you so encouraging? And why are you so happy? And it's because I've learned and I've seen things firsthand. And that's what I want to sort of share with you guys today. Now, I often tweet a lot of things and I talk about a lot of stuff on my Twitter. And every time I tweet something that somebody responds to, it's happening in my own life. It's a real experience. And trust me, I go through some really, really big struggles. Even though you may look at my life and think, wow, he's so awesome, and he gets to do all these cool things. Like last week, I missed out on a huge opportunity to be like the star of my own show, and it didn't happen. You know? And I could have really taken that badly, but then you start. I've learned that those things are really, really important, because there's this thing that this world tries to give us, and I feel like this is where this idea of depression comes from, and why so many people struggle with it. It's because